Oh, my bad. The volume. Okay. So, yeah, I'm here about to get my grub on. I need a little time to decompress on all the shit that I done went through this past weekend. You know, I mentioned to you guys that I was going down to DR, and I only went down there. I was there. Y'all know I was only down there. I was already down there for 1 month. I solely went down there to close a deal for a viewer on my channel. Okay, and I will say it. Sometimes, guys, when it comes to my people, we are our worst. We can be the worst. We can be the worst. You know, this client, you know, he sent me his money, right? I did the right thing. I'm all about doing things the right way. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Stanford Cook, Magulian? What's going on, guys? So y'all gotta listen to this shit. And I probably won't get monetized for this, but it's okay. And for those of you guys that's in this live, be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe. Gillian Official, follow me, guys. Okay. So, I got down there on Saturday only to seal a deal for one of the clients on my channel. He decided that he wanted to buy, 2,500 square meters. The man sent me, transferred the $5,000 into my account, so that I can go down there and close a deal for him until he was able to make it down there in 2 weeks, right? Now, I done did all of that for him. Got the contracts, got all his receipts, did the surveyor, they call it the agreement-saw, had the agreement-saw come out, had the lawyer come out. So this client ended up spending altogether about $6,000, $5,000 to hold, to hold the property. The property was running him $110,000 for 2,500 square meters. So, when it's all said and done, this man calls me last night and tells me that he decided that he doesn't want the land anymore. He wants his money back. This is what he told me, guys. He wanted his money back after all the legwork that I've done. Going back and forth, doing negotiation for him, getting him the best deal possible. You know what I'm saying? For this man to turn around and tell me that he doesn't want the property anymore, he found a better deal. Now, y'all know as well as I know, and for those of you guys that don't know, this might be a lesson for you when you're doing business in Dominican Republic. Once the contract is signed and everything is stipulated in the contract in terms of what the terms of the contract is, that is it, okay? That's it. So he ended up taking, a $6,000 loss. And he's not taking accountable for any of it. It's not my fault that you decided that, you didn't want the land anymore. So what, I shouldn't get paid only because you didn't want the property? So this is what I'm faced with, and this is a valuable lesson for him and for anybody else that's looking to purchase property in Dominican Republic. If you're purchasing property and damn, I missed it, what happened? Oh man, I gotta go all over again. Future World Films, what's going on, bro? Basically I closed the deal for a client. He did all the legwork. And mind you guys, I was there for a month. There was no reason for me to go back to Dominican Republic. I came back to New York to regroup, so that I could continue on doing what I need to do financially with my house and my property and everything else. I went out my way to make this happen for this client. And he turns around and just blaming everybody but his damn self. Everybody but himself, because he decided he didn't want the property anymore. When you put down a down payment, the terms of the agreement was he was supposed to come back in 2 weeks to close the deal. Thank you. You have tartar sauce? Tartar sauce? Yeah, the terms of the agreement was he's supposed to come back and seal a deal in 2 weeks. He done lost his money. He done lost $6,000, and now he's blaming everybody but himself. I did all of what this man asked me to do. I went down there, paid them people the money. I have all the documents at my house. And I leave him a message, and he totally just disregarded everything I said. Everything. Thank you. So, I just, bro, y'all have no idea. Sometimes I'm just like, I feel like giving the fuck up. You know, I created this channel to genuinely help people. And here it is. I did all the legwork for this man. My builder doesn't even want to do business with him. My builder, he's like, Juan's like, yo, Jay, how am I supposed to go back and tell these people that this man doesn't want the property anymore? And these people held on to the land for him because they had another buyer. And then you turn around and tell me on last night at 9 o'clock at night, after I done paid these people their money on Saturday, that you don't want the property anymore. This is Carl Amari. He said, man up. Thank you. And he's telling me, Jay, I just want my money back and I'll pay you for your time. So basically you telling me, and I told him that in a voice message, I didn't even want to have a conversation with this dude. You're basically telling me that if you don't get your money back, you're not going to pay me. And that's just the bottom line. But, like I said to you guys before, I try not to stress over shit I got no control over. This too shall pass. But it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. You know what I mean? After me doing all this legwork for this dude, going out my way, to really genuinely help this guy, and then you turn around and pull this bullshit, and then blaming everybody else but yourself. First of all, my thing is this. When you're making a purchase, and I told him that, when you're making a big purchase like that, you're supposed to physically be there, to make sure that everything runs smooth. You got this so-called brother that's your eyes and ears. Fuck that. If I'm spending 110,000 USD, you best believe I'm gonna make sure I'm there to oversee everything. Going back and forth with his so-called brother was a headache. Y'all have no idea. People think this shit is easy. When you dealing with, I don't have to say it, our people, dealing with our people can be a fucking headache, to say the least. And I'm like, yo, I just need to come and decompress from all this, because this is crazy, bro. I done took, a little over $2,000 loss on account of helping somebody else out. If I work every weekend, you know what I'm saying? And that's overtime. That was the $1,500 that I lost going out to Dominican Republic, on top of the flight, gas, car rental. You know what I'm saying? But I shouldn't be compensated for any of that. It's just crazy how people think. Just stick to your home and make it beautiful and enjoy all the good things you have coming. Yeah, I'm just venting a little bit, Y'all my people. Sometimes I come out here for an outlet, you know what I'm saying? Even though I know a lot of y'all don't give a fuck, but there's a lot of you guys that do, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate all the support and the positive feedback from those, you know what I mean, who really been with me from the beginning, man. I do. What happened to Shamu? Y'all really want to know? Shamu is a fraud. He's a fraud, a crab in a barrel. Somebody that I trusted, and he did a lot of dirty shit to me. And I said, I don't want to go into full detail because right now is not my time. I got a story to tell, It's unfortunate that you have a lot of people on here that be praying for your downfall. Because there's a lot of people on here that want to see me, don't want to see me flourish. Oh, I told you so. And to be the ones that I told you so that's not even following me. It's just in here, posted up negative shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't say. Nah, I'm not. I'm not going to say. But the ones that got my number that I talk to on here on the regular, y'all know what time it is. Thank you. Yeah, y'all know what time it is. But it is what it is. Anytime you face with a situation, man, my motto is, you reap what you sow in life. You sow bad seeds, you're gonna reap bad. You're gonna reap bad. You sow good seeds, you're gonna reap good. And that's just the bottom line. When you going back to POP, right now, bro, I gotta regroup. I have a lot going on with the crib. I know I told you guys that initially I was gonna sell it, and I decided not to sell the house. I'm gonna hold on to my crib because I want to recoup some of this money. You know, I got my apartment there. So ultimately, man, I'm just right now I'm focusing on finishing the kitchen, and that was a headache too. You know, it's like when we down there, time is limited because I'm moving around. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really have a lot of time. I was limited, you know, so I did go to a few kitchen spots to check out cabinets and stuff like that. But my biggest issue, guys, and I think you guys should know this too, especially if you're building up in the mountains, you know, you gotta be concerned about termites. You know what I'm saying? So I was looking at like the aluminum cabinets in which the white ones look really cheap to me. I don't, it's just, you know, if you're gonna spend money on your home, especially your home, you wanna put quality materials into your home. And I just didn't like the quality of the aluminum cabinets that they selling. You know what I'm saying? So it only leaves me to do wood, in which I'm really concerned about, only because of the termite problem. You know what I mean? And I know that, you know, if I'm gonna do wood, you gotta constantly spray, just so that you can prevent, you know, the termites eating that shit up. You know? Yeah. Yeah, keep the crib. You can always change your mind later. Yeah, I'm gonna let the value go up on it, you know? But I will tell y'all this, for those of you guys that's looking, oh man, I'm being greedy. Let me show y'all what Jay they working with. And I don't treat myself like this much often, but I was like, fuck it. I just had a bad, after yesterday, I'm like, you know what? I need to come and eat, drink, and enjoy myself, because after today, I'm on my grind. But I will tell y'all this. I really was trying to hold out on this property, but I found a hidden gem in Matallano, Dominican. It's like Matallano. For those of you guys that know Puerto Plata, y'all know Matallano is going towards Sosua. Guys, I found a piece of property. It's like 300 square meters, but you got the river and the beach in your backyard, man. Literally footsteps away, and they want $20,000 for 300 square meters in a quiet community. Nice. When I tell you guys, nice. And I'm like, damn, I don't, you know, I'm like trying to see if I can get a couple of my family members together and we just purchase that shit and hold on to it, you know, until we able to do something with it, because it's a great investment. You know, when you find property like that, I was telling my builder, I said, you don't even need a pool. You don't, but he was like, nah, you still want to have a pool just in case, like after you get out of the river, you know, you got your home that you can go in and just chill in the pool or whatever. I said, oh, okay, I see your logic, but if it were my property, I wouldn't put a pool there, only because, like I said, you got a beautiful river flowing and you got the ocean, you know? It's 11 of y'all on here. Be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe, guys. I'm gonna leave this as an open convo too. And you guys got any questions or whatever, you know, just let me know. If you want a buyer for your house, sell it. If you have a buyer for your house, sell it. Buy it. Bro, money is tight for your boy right now. It is. Only because, you know, I got a lot of things going on. When I had two buyers for the house, no name. I had two buyers, but you got to understand, I spent a lot of money into this home, and I didn't really have a chance to enjoy it, you know? Some people say never get attached to real estate, you know, but this is my first project. You know what I'm saying? This is my first project, so, you know, I'm just like, nah, I don't want to sell it right now. But what I am going to do Once the kitchen is all said and done, I'm gonna rent it out. I'm gonna rent it out, and I'm going to do, the top level little by little as I go along. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna cost me that much, but I done already made another investment buying the land over there in Sabana Corozo, which is in Puerto Plata too. So, pension loan, how much for the land in Matallano, Haitian Ghost? I'm gonna post that on my channel when I get home after I'm done eating all this food. And this is an all-you-can-eat spot. Let me show y'all what I'm working with. I got some steak, got some calamari, got some oysters, got a seafood boil bag with Dungeness crabs and crab legs. Yeah, I'm about to, and Long Island iced tea. I'm treating myself today, boy. But yeah, to answer your question, Haitian, it's you got that one spot. It's one lot, 300 square meters, and they want 20,000 for it. But bro, it's worth it. It's worth the price, man. It's worth the price. And then they got other land in there. I think I gotta look back at the video. I don't want to say the wrong price. I think starting price is like 4,500 pesos per square meter. I think it's either 4,300 or 4,500. But it's worth the price. It's worth the price. Trust me. Be careful, the river in Matallano floods. And that was a question that I asked them already, because I asked. That was a main question I asked them. I said, does it flood there? And they said no. That area, they said no, it doesn't. Damn, where you at? I'm at Aloha Crab. Yeah, and the price ain't bad. You get all you can eat. You got up to 2 hours to order as much as you want. Hold on. I paid, it appears backwards, but $49.95, and you can eat, and the menu is crazy. You just check off what you want, and they just keep bringing it to you. Yeah. I got 20 years traveling to POP. So no name, let me ask you a question. The 20 years of you traveling to POP, tell me some of your experiences, man. Like some things that other people can benefit from learning for a person that's been traveling there that long. I'm telling you, it floods there. Okay. All right, I'm gonna take your word for it, bro. But it is a nice piece of property. But you know what? If you're gonna build in a flood zone, because some people like taking that risk, I'm not. But if I were to, I would build my house high up, on posts to prevent the flooding. You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally. But then you got to be concerned about your car. Your car getting flooded out. So that is a major concern. Yeah. Don't buy, rent. Okay. Well, I'm already renting an apartment, and that's the thing. The way things are going here in the United States, man, I'm just, when I was in Dominican Republic for that month, I had a lot of time to reflect on things, my life, and, just here in the States, how hard we got to work in order to sustain ourselves. No time to enjoy, you know what I'm saying? All of those things started to come to mind, and I'm just sitting here like, damn, I looked at how much I spent the month of me being there, and I'm like, man, I could really do this, and I don't really need a whole lot of money in order to make it happen. I tell you guys all the time, it all depends on the kind of lifestyle you want to live. If you're one of those people that, feel the need to be in the clubs and, drinking and all of that, you need to add all of that shit into your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? But for me, myself, nah, I don't need a whole lot of money to live off of. Especially having, the house in the mountains. I look at it like this. When I am there full time, and I took advice from my landlord, somebody who's Dominican, who lives here in the States, who is back and forth. She owns a restaurant next to me, and what she's doing is innovative. And the advice that she gave to me, I'll give to you guys. She told me, try to find fixer-uppers in the center city, in the surroundings, in the center city. And she was like, you buy it and you fix it up. And that's pretty much what she did. She started off with a restaurant, right? Mind you, I wasn't even going. I left there, I think May 1st. I came back not even 2 weeks later, and she started building up on top of the restaurant. Literally, 2 apartments. She's got construction going on right now as we speak. So, if you looking, don't pass fixer-uppers by. Especially in the center part of the city. Yeah. Because that's pretty much where everybody wants to be. It's in the heart of Puerto Plata. And the only reason why I made the investment up there in Sabana Caroso, because I'm gonna be real with you, the money that I had, guys, it was enough to finish up my house. I'm not gonna lie, but I had to think about it. A few of y'all said, I would have finished my house. And then some of y'all was like, nah, you made a good choice. I look at it like this. I'm not living in the home right now. You know what I mean? I want the mountain, bro. Well, Haitian, Rose, you need to holler at me, bro. 347. Hit me up on WhatsApp. 347-740-6350. Let's talk about it. The reason why I didn't finish the house is because I looked at the investment up in Sabana Caroso. For those of you guys know, if you're entering, like El Coupe starts like, it's not really El Coupe, but San Marcos. You go through San Marcos, and that'll take you up through El Coupe. You going up that road. Yeah, the road is not done yet, but there's a lot of construction going on both sides. You got communities being built on your left, communities being built on your right. You also have that Greece-themed restaurant in which my property is 5 minutes away from that. You know what I'm saying? So once all of that development starts happening up there, it's going to drive up the property value where I purchased. You know what I mean? So I was keeping, trust me, I had to really think about it before I made that move. And I think that I made a good move on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know within, I'd say the next 3 years, I could capitalize off of my investment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when you guys are looking to purchase property, think about what's around you. Think about, what's being built and what's going on, the roads and all of that stuff. If they're building up the infrastructure, it's worth the investment for sure. Definitely worth it. So I think that I made a good choice. And as I said, I'm not living in my house right now. I mean, yeah, it took me damn near 3 years to get to where I'm at, but everything takes time. And I tell you guys that all the time. You got to pace yourself. I'm not a rich dude. I'm doing this by myself. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I'm doing well, especially from where I started. You know what I'm saying? It has been a journey, to say the least. Would I do it all over again? You damn right. Because at the end of the day, I'm looking ahead. I'm going to be able to capitalize off my investments. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was definitely worth the investment for me. It's 15 of y'all in here. I'm going to need y'all to hit them likes, to share, and subscribe. It costs y'all nothing to do that. Nothing at all. So please, hit the like, hit the share, and subscribe. I'm about to open up this big boy here and see what this is about. Word. But, being in Puerto Plata, it opened up my mind to a lot. And there's so many different investments you can make other than, buying property. Like my guy Daryl, for those of you guys who haven't seen that video, somebody just hit me up, sup Jay. Okay. If that was one of you guys, if one of you guys are texting me, when the live is over, I'll reply to you. I'll hit you up. But if you guys haven't seen the video that I did, the live video that I did with Daryl, okay, You ever go to Como? Yes, yes, I've been to Como. I've been to Como. I'll get to you on Como, Magulian. But yeah, chopping it up with Daryl. This is a brother who's been living in Dominican Republic. We're talking about for 5 years now, and I see the growth. I see the progress, what he's doing, and he managed to open up that little spot on the beach in which I tell y'all, check out the video who haven't seen it. Y'all go and patronize my guy and check him out. Solid brother, full of informative information for anybody that's looking to navigate NDR. We got an expat group on WhatsApp. It's over 250 of us in that group. And, it's a group where we all share informative information for people who are looking, anything that you need, that you looking for, you go in that group, you'll find it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I highly recommend, you guys going to check Daryl out in El Pueblito. And once you hit El Pueblito, all you got to do is ask, you know who Daryl is? Everybody know him up in there. He's been staying in there since I met him, Let me show y'all what J-Day's working with. Oh, yeah. You got the Dungeness crabs, corn, broccoli, shrimp. Look, you can't beat this, or you can eat. And can you please send me the info for the chat group? Okay. Boy from Chicago, right? Yeah, from Chicago. That's my bro. Solid brother and full of knowledge and information. You know what I'm saying? I've been knowing him for about a little over 3 years. He was one of the first people that I met. Well, one of the first expats I met. Going to El Pueblito. I've been going to El Pueblito since like 2018, and I've seen a change and a progress. Back then, I had the opportunity to buy an apartment up in there for about 20 grand. No lie. But I was just starting my project, you know what I'm saying? And I was trying to get my cousin to go half with me on it. But it goes back to what I was saying, like, my cousin ain't see my vision, and now he's regretting that shit now. He's like, cuz, damn, I wish we would have bought that. I told him, I said, bro, it was right on the beach. When you have the opportunity to buy beachfront property, we're talking about 2 apartments for 20 grand. The structure was solid. All we had to do was just go in there and redo everything. Windows, which wouldn't have cost us much money to do. Especially if you got the right connections, Yeah. But I'm now, guys, I'm focused. I'm focused now that I'm back home. To answer that person's question that asked me, when do I plan on going back to Puerto Plata? I'm not in a rush to go back. I was there for a month. The only way I'm going back is if I got to close a deal. Other than that, I'm staying here and grinding, you know what I'm saying? Who's to say I might go back for a couple of days, but it's not going to be a lengthy stay, you know what I'm saying? Crab legs look good, huh? Yeah, and this is Cajun, bro. The flavor is definitely on point. This is my first time coming to this spot. And see, this is another thing. You see how they do this here? Opening up a business. I think this kind of business would flourish in Dominican Republic. Doing seafood boils. You got the brother that's doing chicken and waffles, that's doing very well with it. And I've said this time and time again, whatever we doing in the States, research it, see if there's a need for it in Dominican Republic, and bring it there. But one thing I will say is that you gotta make sure, your price point is good enough to whereas the locals can afford to go there to patronize it as well. That's very important. Otherwise, your business is gonna fail. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just like the brother that had that spot, and he had a gold mine. He had a gold mine. I think if he did it right, he would still be in business. Only because at the time the Miami bar was a bar. You downstairs from a bar, so after people are drinking and shit like that, after drinking and partying, most people want to go and get something to eat. You had the spot right up on top. The problem was, first of all, the name of your club was Atlanta Light. The name of the restaurant was Atlanta Lights, and it was predominantly geared to, it was geared to, just the expats, and the price point wasn't good enough. It wasn't cheap enough for the locals to go and patronize it, and that's why shit didn't even last a good 6 months. When I seen the advertisement, I was so happy. I was like, damn, a brother out here from Atlanta doing it big. Can't wait to go down there and patronize it. When I got there with my family, we went, that shit was closed down. I'm like, yo, what happened? And the expats had a lot to say, I'm not gonna out the brother because I don't know him, but it would have been nice to see his business flourish, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's a good balance when it comes to pricing. You need to appeal to American and Dominicans. Exactly. And there's this brother, shout out to Cortez. Cortez, if you watching, shout out to you, bro. Because one thing I could respect about this brother, it's an expat that's been living in Puerto Plata for quite some time. And he's got a little business going on. He's got a Kamado. And he's got once you got Dominicans coming in and patronizing you, you're doing good. When I pulled up, I didn't even know he had a spot. And he's got the oh man, it's crazy. When I seen his spot, the banner is a 7-Eleven sign, and I think it's called 24/7 or something like that. So he kind of used the 7-Eleven banner, the colors and everything. But he's not doing much. His business, all he's doing is selling beers and potato chips and playing loud music. And what helped his business is the fact that he lives in that community, so everybody knows him. You see what I'm saying? And from what I heard on when his day of opening, the Dominicans just pulled up and started playing music, and that basically just let everybody know, yo, it's all right to come here and patronize. You know what I'm saying? So when I pulled up, I was like, wow, this dude's got Dominicans in here buying up liquor, playing like as if it was a Dominican Kamado. And a Kamado, for those of you guys who don't know what a Kamado is, it's just like a store where the locals just be hanging out, playing music and stuff. That's what a Kamado is. A convenience store, 7-Eleven. You Haitian Ghost, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's a convenience store. Yeah, it's a convenience store. And like I said, he sells cold beers, and then also, not just that, guys, he supplies my boy Daryl with alcohol for his business. So he's doing good. Yeah, he's doing good. He's supplying that, because I was like, I was talking to him. I was like, yeah, I got to go and check out Daryl's spot. This is before I met up with Daryl. And he was like, yo, I supplied Daryl with his alcohol. I said, wow, look at that. So he's making money all around. Yo, when I tell y'all these crab legs is fire, oh man. I hate to be on here eating at the same time, but it is what it is. You got to get it in where you can fit it in, you know what I mean? Atlanta Live was sold at a profit, didn't close due to not working. Locals saw the cash cow, but wanted to convert it to more of a Dominican. Okay. Got it, Sorry, Python, but I heard otherwise. Bro. I heard that, during COVID, all of those people that was in his spot went to jail, and, they had to stay in jail, and, you know how you hear different stories from different people. So, that's what I heard, and it just let people stop going there to patronize his spot. But now, it's wings and waffles up there. I haven't checked it out, but I hear that the food is really good. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing, guys. If you're looking to open up a restaurant or whatever, like I said, the price point gotta be affordable. It doesn't cost much to make waffles, and it damn sure don't cost much to make chicken. You know what I'm saying? So always think about the product that you're selling and making sure that not only is it marketable, but the price point is decent enough to whereas, your business can thrive. You know, it's very important. And I also talk about the food truck industry, which is growing at a rapid pace too. You know, what about a brothel? Oh God, this dude said a brothel. Well, listen, you want to open up a strip club? It's legal to do that. You know what I'm saying? You got a few strip clubs in Puerto Plata. I've been to a few. Listen, if you got the money, the vision, you can make it happen. What the main thing is marketing it the right way. You see, anything that I do, I know that I'm gonna have people come out and support only because I have a platform. You know what I'm saying? So I know I'm gonna get people to come out and support me. You know, so you have to make sure that whatever you're doing, you have to market it well and make sure it's in a good location where people can access it. You know, very important. Let me read. Hold on. If his beer is ice cold, his beer ain't ice cold. You know when you get a beer and it's frost on it? That's how cold his beer is, bro. Yeah. And he got people coming in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Dominicans is sitting there playing dominoes and cards and shit. So he's doing well. He's doing well. And he made a name for himself. He really has. I told him, man, I'm proud of you. Shout out, I'm gonna say it again. Shout out to Cortez, bro. What about brothel? Laugh out loud. Brothel and you going to jail. Laugh out loud. The locals gotta make, and that's another thing, you know, I hear a lot of. When you have competition, you're gonna have a problem. Not to say that you can't solve the problem, but if you're competing against a local, that local's going to, and this is only based off of stories that I've heard from people who are in business, who are competing against locals. You know, these locals will do whatever it takes to make you fold. You know what I'm saying? And if you ever in that kind of a situation, don't let them chase you out. You know, this is why it's important that, you know, you do things the right way so that you don't have those kind of problems. You know what I'm saying? And make sure you do things the right way. Like the brother that I did the interview with that's got the Italian icy spot. Yo, I can't say enough about this seafood boil. This shit is amazing. Word. And you know, one thing I will say, guys, traveling to, you know, Puerto Plata a lot, they don't have crab legs. They have crabs, but they hold crabs and they small as I don't know what. But this kind of business would do very well. You know, it's all the location though, all about the location. But yeah, you know, you don't let your competitors chase you out because they will. They'll send cops to you, to your establishment, you know, to put on the pressure. You know what I'm saying? It's happened to my man Daryl. It's happened to the dude that I did the interview with that has Italian icy spot. You know, and he was like, "Bro, I'm from Philly." Like, he was like, they wanted 10% of commission for every sale, and he's like, "Yo, Jay, I'm selling Italian ices. Like, how much am I making if I'm giving them 10% of every sale?" You know what I'm saying? Which makes sense. So, you know, and he's located right by the cruise ship. So he's in a great location for that. You know, great location. And he told me, he said within a month of opening up, he gained like over 1,000 subscribers on Instagram. You know, just by sitting out there with his samples of Italian ices and, you know, waving people to come in, you know, to patronize his business. You know what I'm saying? Not what you know, it's who you know and pay off. That's true. Sometimes you got to pay a little extra, you know what I'm saying, in order to make shit happen in DR. And you say it again, no name. Say it again. It's facts. It's not what you know, it's who you know. It's very important. Yo, I'm out making me hungry. Magulian, I appreciate you, bro. Always, man. Really do, man. I appreciate the support, bro. Be safe. There is no right way against a local. The business landscape is riddled with the dead business due to foreigner getting business and not a local. Typical Dominican Republic stuff. Make money but don't live large. Exactly. And that's my concept too. All I want to do, guys, is be able to maintain a lifestyle that's comfortable for me to enjoy. I don't need a whole lot. You know, we don't. All I'm at 45, all I'm concerned about is quality of life. That's the most important thing to me. Quality of life. You know? I'm willing to sacrifice leaving here, leaving my six-figure job just to go to DR and live comfortable. You know? What's the point of making six figures a year and you can't even enjoy the shit? Trying to keep your head above water in order to sustain yourself. Shit ain't easy. It's not. Secret to living in DR is keeping a low facts. You said it right. You said it right. And in my where I live, where my apartment is, it's in the barrio. And that's what I do. I keep a low profile. They know me in the barrio, hi, bye. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not there to make friends because I already know what that comes with. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's out for something, to get something. I'd rather, you know, keep myself engulfed in the expat community. Even though some of these expats is full of shit too. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Some of these expats ain't who they say they are. You know what I mean? Take it from J-Day. Trust me. A lot of them ain't who they really are. Until you really get to know them, you like, yo, this dude is full of shit. You know? And I'm one of those brothers, I call you out. I call it as I see it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. If I rock with you, I rock with you. If I feel like you full of shit, you gonna know it. You know? And I've called brothers out on they shit. You have Instagram? Yeah, I do. But I mainly use TikTok. Instagram, I realized that Instagram is not as popular as it was now that TikTok is out. So you can follow me on TikTok, J-Day the Traveler. Yeah, follow me on TikTok because there's content that I don't post on my YouTube channel only because, you know, like the music and shit, copyright and all of that stuff. Like even for this video, I don't think I'm gonna get monetized for it, which is okay. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the money with me, man. It's about establishing good relationships. You know, because at the end of the day, you know, when I'm down there full time, you know, I want to be, you know, in circle with positive brothers. When it's all said and done, yo, come to my crib. I'm doing a barbecue. You know, and I go to your crib, you come to my crib. We all get together, go to the river. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's the kind of vibe that I'm on, you know? Yeah. But yeah, check me out on TikTok, J-Day the Traveler. Well, they know you are here in Santo Domingo. No, G, you in Santo Domingo. I'm trying to get you to my side. Not that I have anything against Santo Domingo. I don't have anything against Santo Domingo. It's just that being from New York, I don't really desire living in a big city. I just don't. I come from a big city. It's like, for me, yo, 4 days, let's say Friday, Saturday, by Sunday, I'm ready to leave Santo Domingo. I'm ready to go. But I will say, you know, the prices are a little bit affordable out there, but Santo Domingo floods a lot. For those of you guys that know, so you got to make sure if you are purchasing property out there, make sure that it's not in the flood zone, because no name, you can attest to that, I'm sure, especially you saying that you lived out there for 20 years, you know Santo Domingo floods out a lot, you know? So you got to be careful with that. Yeah. All I'm gonna eat is these, man. This this is good. I'm definitely gonna be back. I'm enjoying this, y'all. I appreciate. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Santo Domingo floods out a lot, but you know, like I said, guys, it's important that we stick together. We stay connected. You know, not to say that we should segregate ourselves from the locals, but we need to be protected as well. You know what I'm saying? And part of being protected is being connected, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If in case something goes down, you know, you got a network, somebody in, you know, that you can contact, like, yo, this is going on, that's going on, you know? Because I know countless of stories where brothers get themselves jammed up. And sometimes, you know, we not even doing nothing. It be these choppies that get us jammed up, trying to extort us and all kinds of bullshit. You know, so you gotta be careful, you know, the way you maneuver. And then, you know, y'all already know. I gotta tell you, you know, depending on the kind of woman you're around, they get you set up, you know. Yeah, so you gotta really be careful. Try to live a modest life, and you know, stick with the expat community. Yeah. Together, yeah, we are, man. Haitian Ghosts, together we are stronger. It's true. It's true. You know, I know enough expats to whereas if something go down with me, I know I can call somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna come to my rescue. And that's priceless. So if you want those, you know, expats, oh, when you see an expat, you don't want to say nothing, you don't want to start a conversation, you bringing a disservice to yourself doing that. Until you get yourself jammed up in some bullshit, then you like, your back is against the wall and all you want to do is get on the next plane and head back to the States only because, you know? Santo Domingo is on a bluff, and along towards the Malecon area is the downside. That water runoff is crazy. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I like Santo Domingo, but it's just not for me. It's not for me, you know? I don't really, I just feel like, you know, you got a lot of shicey people out there. The people on the North Coast and the countryside is more tranquilo, more relaxed. Like, in Santo Domingo, they just, like, they on you. They on you. As soon as they see a gringo, it's like, they trying to find a way, you know, to get something out of you. It's like open season. You know? Nev, what's going on, Nev? Nev on the daily, what's up? As y'all see, I'm sitting here and getting it in. Food is amazing. It really is. But that's what I'm working on. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, I like to get down there for another month, you know? So I'm gonna grind hard so that I can get down there for a month and just relax myself. You know what I'm saying? Because we all do. And one thing I will say, guys, we are all deserving of that. We are all deserving of a quality of life, being able to vacation and enjoy ourselves as often as we should. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of the reasons why I have sacrificed a lot to pretty much get to where I'm at. My journey hasn't been easy at all. It hasn't, you know. But when I look back, you know, from where I started to where I am now, man, you know, I give a pat myself on the back, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, Jay, you did that. You know what I mean? And everything that I said I was gonna do, I'm pretty much doing, you know? So you gotta speak it into an existence and make it happen for yourself, you know? That's why I went to Punta Cana, loving it. Oh, so you love Punta Cana? See, and you know that's what I said. It's something for everybody. Cause me personally, you know, Punta Cana, and this is just my logic. You know, everybody has their own opinion, and I value everybody's opinion. But when I look at Punta Cana is for people who kind of miss America, you know, because they are building it up to whereas you're not missing anything in America, you know, malls and, you know, it's geared to providing services to tourists, you know what I'm saying? To whereas Puerto Plata, it's more of a Dominican vibe, you know? It's a lot of things that is not accessible to us that is accessible to us in Punta Cana. You know what I'm saying? This is why a lot of people, you know, prefer Punta Cana over Puerto Plata. You know, I like Puerto Plata because I'm a beach bum. You know, you know, we have so many rivers and beaches that we have accessible to us, and not just that. The price point is cheaper to live. It's cheaper to live in Puerto Plata opposed to Punta Cana. If I'm lying, y'all tell me. See, straight python. It basically reminds me of Florida. Exactly. I describe it as like the next Orlando of Dominican Republic. So when you say Florida, I'm not too far off. Word. I'm gonna leave here full and plenty, guys. Word. It's a nice little vibe in here too. They got a bar, you know, and I love seafood. I do. I love it because I can still have my cars here. What you mean by that? Because you can have cars in Puerto Plata. They ship cars to Puerto Plata too. Yeah. So what you mean by that? But yeah, I'm you know, my goal now, guys, is now that I'm back home, I actually got, shout out to Clint too. Clint and I are supposed to be coming back on at 8 o'clock. It depends on how I feel when I leave here. I might have the itis and want to go home and take a nap. But one thing I do have to do is upload that content in my Tayano for those of you guys who want to see it. But, you know, now that I'm back home, my plan is to finish up my kitchen, right? The road, my builder done did the road for me. Man, my builder's amazing, man. He did the road. He excavated more of the, not my property, but the property outside of my property so that I can pull in and out. He made it very accessible for me to do that. And, you know, now once the kitchen is done, I'm slowly gonna work up on the top. You know, he done pretty much gave me an estimate on how much it's gonna cost for me to do the roof. Now, he told me, he said, Jay, if you wanna save money, you know, you don't have to do a concrete roof. And the only reason why I wanna do a concrete roof is because I wanna be able to walk up. I wanna create another stairs on the second level so that I can walk up and go out on the rooftop. You know what I mean? And you know, like, I envision doing like a little cabana and doing like a barrier around the pool so that people can look down, you know, from the top, you know, and do like a little hot tub with a tiki bar. So that's why I wanted to do a flat roof. But, you know, he told me I can do, I forgot the kind of material. It almost looks like tarp, but it's not tarp. I'm sure, I don't know if you guys have seen the other roofs that some of these houses have in Dominican Republic, but it's like, it appears to be like a blue color. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but he did tell me that could be done and it's cost effective, you know? But my thing is this, if I'm gonna do a roof, I wanna do something that's gonna bring up the value of my property, you know? Especially when you're building a home for yourself. I always say, don't do any shortcuts, man. Because when you do shortcuts, all you're doing is devaluing your property, you know? So if it's your home, go all out, you know. Now, if it's investment property, you know, or Airbnb, then that's something different. You know what I mean? Yeah. Luxury cars and fit in so many luxury cars here. Okay. I got it. I got it. Me, I don't want to have a luxury car. Well, for one, I can't afford to have a luxury car in Dominican Republic. I'm gonna be real. And then having a luxury car, especially a car, the roads are so bad, you know, you need to be careful on what kind of car you're thinking about buying. Me, 4x4, hands down. I would settle for a pickup truck, you know? That's just me. I could settle for that. How are you, buddy? Majestic River, what's going on? I'm good. As you can see, I'm sitting here getting it in. It's 21 of y'all in here. Be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe. And if y'all hear the music in the background, YouTube, I don't know if this shit matters or not, but I don't own the rights to any of this music that's playing. Santo Domingo was okay. Went to Boca Chica, and everyone there trying to scam you. Didn't like that. Yeah, that's another thing. Let's talk about it. You know, and it's the same thing that goes on in Sosua. Not as bad as Boca Chica. Boca Chica is like, oh man, they just so aggressive. Everybody's out to get the gringo, man. And if you're not careful, you know, you end up spending more than what you anticipate. I'll tell you this: when you're going to Boca Chica, do not let any of the locals try to bring you to a spot. You tell them you're okay. You'll find your own spot, and that's how I do them. I don't need you to direct me anywhere. I come here long. I've been here long enough to know where I want to go and where I want to patronize. You know what I'm saying? Because once they bring you, they have a way of trying to direct you to a place, right? And then once they get there, they ask you what you want without showing you a menu and how much things are. You know what I'm saying? So you always ask the price of things before you pay. Otherwise, when it's all said and done, you get that bill and you like, yo, what the fuck is this? You know? Yeah. So they have a way of doing that to you in Boca Chica. And then, you know, with Sosua, I know a lot of y'all brothers, I want to live in Sosua, but one of my viewers is like, he bought property out there in Sosua. He's actually building a house right now as we speak. The house we went to go and check out. We went to check his house out to make sure everything was copacetic, but he told me, he said, Jay, after being here for a month, I can't see myself living here. It's too much of haggling, you know? I want to be able to go to a beach without being harassed. You know what I'm saying? Only because I'm a gringo and they think I got money. So to stop that from happening to me, I always tell them I live here full time. I always say, yo vive aquí permanente, no turista. That means go ahead. I'm not a tourist. I live here. So go ahead, pass me by. That's how you get them from harassing you, especially in Sosua, man. If it ain't the ladies looking to do massages, you got the Haitian ladies, you got the guys selling the oysters and shit. You're like, damn, I just want to chill. I want to be bothered, you know? And they don't waste no time. As soon as they see you hit the beach, they don't even give you enough time to unwind and put your shit down. They on you like white on rice, you know? Which can be very annoying, you know? Very annoying. Good to hear that. Yeah, Majestic, I'm just chilling. Just getting back from DR, you know, back in New York. The grind starts tomorrow. I have a 2020 G-Wagon, so I have a childhood friend that's here. We sell auto parts in Santo Domingo. Nice. And I know that's a good business. Yeah. So what do you do? How do you go about shipping them? You use a shipping company? What shipping company you use? I'm just curious. You ship the parts from the United States to DR? Let me know. Yeah, one followed us around and he took us to a place. And I'm sure he tried to upcharge you too when he took you to that place. Usually I'm good with cracking up these damn just so y'all know, you ever want to come to Aloha Crab, they give you a 2-hour limit, you know? But I'm gonna eat nothing but seafood up in this joint. Cause this seafood is good. Good. Laugh out loud. Boca Chica was Sosua before Sosua. But the growth in Boca Chica development is stagnant. It is, so I hear. And why do you think that is, Straight Python? Why do you think that it's stagnant? The growth in Boca Chica is stagnant. I mean, I will not lie, I do enjoy the beach. I do enjoy the beach there. But I hate the haggling that goes on, you know? But the beach itself is nice. And you get some good fish over there too. Seafood is always popping. I tell them that they must just told you that your time is about to be up. Nah, it ain't been 2 hours, bro. It ain't 2 hours. And to be honest with you, even if I just eat what I have, I think I got my money's worth. Word. But yeah. Now I'm just like, you know, I just can't wait to get to that point where I'm living there full time, you know? And I want to do this as fast as possible. Cause I'm getting tired of the United States. I am. Ain't shit here. You know? Link me. Luciano shipping from Florida to Dominican Republic. All right, money. 347-740-6350. Text me on WhatsApp, bro. Let's talk. Yeah. And that's what I'm about. Making connections. You know what I'm saying? You never know who knows who. You know what I mean? And I've always been that resourceful type of brother, you know, putting people in the right hands, you know what I'm saying, to help them to navigate. And that costs me nothing. You got a lot of us that like to gatekeep. You know, when you gatekeep, that's how you block your blessings, you know? And we have a big problem with gatekeeping. You know? I don't understand why brothers and sisters like to gatekeep. For what? All you're doing is blocking your blessings when you do that. You know? All right. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, just hit me. Just hit me. Yeah, I can't afford nothing in the States. Nor can I. I can't afford shit in the States either. And here it is. I make 6 figures a year. This is why I tell a lot of us it's time for us to take our money elsewhere. You know? We can't make it happen here. And even with, you know, Daryl and the brother with the Italian icy shop, when you're looking to open up a business in DR, the startup cost is pennies on the dollar, man. And okay, if it don't work out, you don't feel so bad. You ain't take a major loss as if you would take a loss here in the States. Think about it, you know? All you got to do is take your time and research things and price things out, you know? And give it a shot. Like I mentioned to you guys before, you know, the kind of job that I have the ability to take a leave of absence from my job, and I got a year to come back to my position. They hold my position for 1 year. So, you know, when I get to that point where I'm like, you know what, I'm ready, take a leave of absence, go down there and see how things work. You know what I mean? But I can't do that until I feel like I'm comfortable enough to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because anything can happen, and you gotta make sure that you have a reserve for a rainy day just in case something may arise. You know what I'm saying? That's important too. How can you get tired of the United States? That's where the money is. The U.S. is funding your crib. I'm tired of the United States in terms of the quality of life. Let me be specific. The quality of life, you know? Yeah, the money's here, but what time do we really have to enjoy it when we're busting our asses and slaving for the man? You know? And that's my. Don't get me wrong. I'm very much grateful of my job and the money that I make, but not being able to afford to live in your city where you live, you know, that's a problem. It's a problem for me. You know, there's no reason why, you know, a brother making six figures can't afford to buy a multi-family unit in Brooklyn only because everything is damn near in the high hundred thousands, almost to a million. You know, they're making it impossible for us to buy anything here, and that's the problem. That's your fault, isn't it? That's your fault, isn't it? Like I said, everybody has their own opinion and how they feel, and that's my opinion, and that's how I feel, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. You make the time. Yeah, I do make the time, and this is why I make the time to get down to Dominican Republic and enjoy my life when I can. You know, everything is so highly priced here in the States to the point where they make it so unaffordable for you to even go out and have a good time. Let's just face it. In the city of New York, to go out and enjoy yourself for the night, you're bound to pay about a good $200, $300 when it's all said and done. That's a flight to Dominican Republic. That's how I look at it. So, you know, I'd rather work, save my money, and spend my money elsewhere so that I can really enjoy it the way I want to enjoy it. People don't understand the freedom you feel when you're in DR. Exactly. They don't. They don't. You know? They here in the States, there's so many stipulations for us minorities. You know, even trying to get a small business loan, they make us go through so much loopholes in order to obtain that. You know? Whereas DR, you go down there, $5,000-$6,000, you can make it happen. You know? So these are the kind of things that, you know, makes me want to get the hell out of the United States, you know, and really thrive. And then not just that, you're adding about 10 years on your life when you leave out of here. Everything that is supposed to be natural is not. Processed foods, GMO foods, you know. I look at my man Daryl. I look out, bro, he looks amazing. Lost over 30 pounds, skin is glowing. You know what I'm saying? So these are the kind of things that I want for myself, you know? You know, living in the United States is stressful. Stressful. DR, you got organic food at your footsteps. You know what I mean? You know, you get catered to the way you should. You know, that's just my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion, but these are my reasonings as to why I want to get out. I respect your opinion, but Dominican Republic isn't cheap. It's more affordable, yes, but you gotta have a bag too. And this is why, I mean, I tell you what, I have an apartment that I pay $191 for all year round. My high-speed internet is 1,400 pesos. We're talking about $35, okay? Light bill is relatively cheap. We're talking about $40 a month. So it all depends on how you want to live. There are brothers that are living on a fixed income and still thriving. So you don't necessarily have to have the bag. It all depends on the kind of lifestyle you want to live for yourself. If you're a modest person, it doesn't cost you a lot of money to live how you want to live. Thank you. You know? Stay on the plantation, my man. They need you. Why you entertaining him? Entertaining people on my channel is what comes with the territory. I'm from New York. I don't take anything serious that people say, man. I don't. We built to have tough skin. You know, everybody has their own opinion, and that's okay. I don't take shit serious that people throw at me, man. I don't. G, you know me. You know me very well. Freddie Mac, not true. You require less than a DR, cleaner options, and DR for way less. Exactly. And there's plenty of brothers that are living just off their social security that I know. No pensions, no other assets, just straight social security, and they're living good. So it all goes down to you and the kind of lifestyle you want to live. It's just that simple. You require less, but you go there with no bread, and you'll find out. Who's going there with no bread? We're talking about people who are just living off a fixed income, bro. You know? And I know a sister that's living in DR right now who ain't got who don't have no income coming in, and she's out there living like a whole Dominican. And she makes enough money in the States to whereas she could come back at any given time, but she don't want to. Only because she enjoys the lifestyle in Dominican Republic. I've had her on my channel, we talked about it, and she shared her story. So everybody has their own opinion and reasoning as to why they want to leave the United States. It's just that simple. I came from federal prison in 2003, purchased 3 brownstones in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. That's how I came up. Yeah. And yo, money. See, at that time, around that time, that was the time to really capitalize in New York. I missed that mark. In 2003, bro, I was 23 years old. My mindset wasn't there, you know? I just wasn't. And this is why it's so important for us to empower the younger generation coming up after us. You know, I think that we need to do better as a race, empowering our children, you know, and setting them up for success so that they don't have to go through the struggles that we had to go through. You know what I'm saying? No name. People hate because they don't know any other place than where they are. Facts. And when you encounter those kind of people, I like to stay away from them. I like like-minded people. And, you know, going through this whole journey on my channel, those friends that I thought that were friends in my past, they've been dropped and I picked up new. You know what I'm saying? It's that good old saying, some people come into your life for a reason and some for a season, you know? And when the seasons change, you got to know how to adapt. Even vacation is cheaper there. As a man, you delete the constant partying and partaking, and you need $1,200 to $1,500 tops to live a nice life in Dominican Republic. Facts. It's true. And I'll tell you, the month that I was down there, I spent under $1,000. I did. And I still enjoyed myself. You know? I spent under $1,000 and I still enjoyed myself. I respect y'all opinion, but y'all don't appreciate the United States and opportunities y'all had. Who doesn't appreciate the opportunities? Who? I think we all do. Everybody just wants something better, and there's nothing wrong with us wanting better other than what we are exposed to. There's nothing, bro, you know how many people are leaving the United States and thriving? You know? We don't have to live in the United States to thrive. And there's brothers that's doing it, sisters that's doing it. You know? So, it's not that we don't appreciate it. It's just some of us want better than what we have, and there's nothing wrong with that. Patriotism is all-time low. The dream is not for everybody. It's true. It's not. It's not. You know. I heard people. I had people tell me I was crazy. Oh, you building a house in Dominican Republic? You crazy. Why are you doing that? Why don't you buy something in the States? You know. These are all the things that was told to me. I've said it to you guys before. I had an opportunity to buy a house out in Long Island, the suburbs of New York. This was in. This is before I built my house. The house was going for, I think, $365,000. My mortgage would have been $3,200 a month. A two family. It would have been like $3,200 a month. And I had to really ask myself, do I really want to take on a 30-year mortgage at 40 years old? Hell no. I didn't want to do that. And then on top of it, the house was an hour and a half from where I worked. That commute would have been crazy, you know. And this is what we are faced with, having to buy further away from where we work and commute. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. And then that means I would have had a mortgage until I'm damn near 70 years old. Nah, I'm good. So I said at that point, nah, I'll take my money elsewhere and build my house in Dominican Republic, and that's what I did. That's what I did. Dominican Diaries, what's going on, bro? What's up, Bueno Provecho? Yeah, I'm eating, bro. This is good eating. Good eating at its best. I'm not even gonna hold you. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna need her to come back. Yeah, I'm gonna need her to come back. Straight Python, laughing my ass off at Freddie Mac. Do you, bro? Has nothing to do with patriotism in the U.S. Work to get a bag, but many die unable to enjoy fruits of their labor, hard work. Plus, don't bring that patriotism back. And you know, you made a valid point, Straight Python. That was another reason why I want to get out of the States. You know, my grandmother worked hard all her life. And she died before she got a chance to enjoy her retirement, man. And I said to myself, that is not going to be me. She worked all her life, and then when she died, her Social Security, her assets went to my aunts and uncles and my mom. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to live like that, you know? The way times and things are going now, life ain't promised to you, me, or anybody else. The time is now. Time is now. And that's my mindset, you know? I'm setting myself up to where I can enjoy the fruits of my labor the way we should. Exactly. Wanted to have a reduced, stressful life. Can I have another one of these? The same thing. Yeah, the crab legs, corn, same thing. Yeah. This was very good. Yeah, it was very good. You see? You exactly. You never own anything either, you know? And it's true. That happened to a family member of mine. My cousin's mother died, and before she died, she didn't keep up on the taxes. Do you know they took the house away because it was backed up in taxes? Who the hell wants to live like that? In the United States, the land is never yours. The house is yours, but the land is never yours. You default on those taxes and let them. They don't see if they don't come and take that shit, sweep it right from under your feet. And it's happened to a family member of mine. Plus, the government get their cut upon your passing also. Exactly. Especially if you ain't got a next of kin, where does all that money go back to? The state. So you done worked all your life for what? For the government to take what you got, what you acquired? Nah, bro. Nah. Like I said, everybody has their own opinion. and that's fine. But my reasoning is my reasoning, and and that's on that, you know. That's the only thing I agree with. The land is never yours. Facts. Yeah, man. Never yours. You pay yearly taxes, and that's another thing. The reason why I didn't buy that house in Long Island, and how much my taxes would have been on that crib. Taxes on that crib would have been almost $12,000 a year. I'm not doing that. Nah, nah, nah. I wasn't doing that to myself, you know. But ultimately, you know, like it goes back to, I forgot who said it. You know, it's not for everybody. You know, you have to weigh out, weigh it out. You know what I'm saying? And see if, DR is the right fit for you. You know, I had a sister who, not my biological sister, but a sister that I met on here. She told me that her experience in DR was hell in the beginning. She was ready to give up and come back to the States until she met a guy that convinced her to stay and give it another shot. And she did, and she's not regretting it now. So it goes back to, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Surrounding yourself around people that can help you to navigate, and locals who got something going on. Those are the kind of friends that I hang out with. Outside of the Dominican, the expat community, I try to surround myself around, wealthy locals who can, put you in different places. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's never easy going to a country you don't know. And that's why, you got to research that country, visit. I'm not just talking about, some people go to DR on vacation and they're like, oh, I could see myself living here. Nah, not me. I liked it a lot when I first visited, and I had to keep coming back. And, after coming back over time is when I really fell in love, and I was just like, you know what? I could see myself living here. And then when you get to that point where you're not missing home and you don't want to go back home, then that's when you know. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't feel like that instantly, don't get that feeling instantly. It takes time, Exactly. It takes time to vet locals. Yeah, it do. Taxes, insurance, HOA fees, maintenance fees, etc. Corrupt laws that target law-abiding individual citizens, etc. As you get older, either you get with the program or the program gets you in the U.S. I like your motto, Straight Python. I like that. It's true, And like you said, even the taxes here is, oh, that was fast. I like the service here. Yeah. You were on point, my friend. And just do me a favor. I just need some napkins. Do you have a bib? Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. Not that I made a big mess, but, DR has the same shit. It does. But you know what? The difference between DR and America is the shit is in your face. I'd rather see it in my face rather than, it being, behind the scenes where, you know what I'm saying, you got to kind of figure shit out. At least DR, it's in your face and you know what to expect. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'd rather take that in your face shit all day. At least I know what to expect. Yeah. So that is the difference for me anyway. You know what I'm saying? And you learn how to navigate. You learn how to navigate. The key is establishing yourself and your name. Just like my boy did in his community, Cortez, you know, he made a name for himself. Now all the Dominicans is coming there, buying up his beers and shit like he's a Dominican. And you already know when it comes to Dominicans, they'll support each other before they support us. You know what I'm saying? So to see that he's got them supporting his establishment, he done broke that barrier, you know? And when I seen it, I was like, yo, congratulations, bro. I had to give them that salute, you know, because it's hard to break that barrier, you know what I'm saying? It really is. Locals are getting priced out. Sooner or later, DR will be just like the United States. And you know what, Freddie Mac, you ain't lying about that, because I say that all the time. Especially if you are living on a fixed income. Social Security. I know you ain't, Freddie, I can agree with you on that, Freddie Mac. I've said that countless of times on the channel. For those of you guys who are living, you know, in hot spots, those days are going to be over soon. You know, you will be priced out, and you're going to find yourself living out in Emberts and Maymone in the outskirts only because you can't afford to live in the hot spots anymore. And this is why I'm saying, and I'm going to say it again, it's better you work hard and save your money and build your own shit. And if you can't build it, buy an apartment, invest in a condo, so that way you can avoid that happening by the time you do, you know, retire out and you're living on a fixed income. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hard Rock is coming to Sosua. And something is coming. I forgot. There's a hotel coming in Cabadete. An expensive one too. I forgot the name of that. The Ritz-Carlton is coming in Sosua. So yeah, that's why I'm saying to you guys, it's important that y'all start investing now. Capitalize on your investments now, because Freddie Mac, you're right. I gotta agree with you on that one, brother. You're right about that. Why so negative? The freedom y'all wanted, local feel y'all wanted is going to. Well, they feel like you being negative, Freddie Mac. But there, you know, some of the stuff you say I can agree to, you know, about the locals being, you know, us being priced out, you know, and to avoid being priced out, it's better you, especially those that are still working, come up at them 401ks, you know, and get a loan if you have to, so that you can at least, you know, secure something for yourself, so that when that time does come, you know, you okay, you know, because who would have ever thought, you know, that, you know, me living in Brooklyn, there was parts of Brooklyn that nobody wanted to live in, you know, and the gentrification, once that started, now it's so expensive that people can't even afford to live here. Even affordable housing is expensive. Vin Diesel building that studio and subdivision of POP are going to drive it up. It's already driven it up. Yep. So all these investments that are happening now, you know, we all know it. And a lot of us are projecting that in the next couple of years it's going to be. And this is why I'm ahead of the game. I got my house. I secured some more land, you know. Not just that. I got 2 projects coming up, you know. I'm going to do a project up in Sabana Caroso, and a project, Clinton and I are teaming up and doing a project in El Coupe. So, you know, I say this, you know, once you guys have the land, that's the easy part. Now, you use that land, and a lot of us is like, oh, where am I going to get the money? You know, if you're looking to do an investment property, listen, the Europeans, other cultures have been doing this for a long time. They never use their money. They use other people's money, and that's the game. That's the key, I should say. That is the key. Once you have your architectural plans and your engineering plans and your permits, you know, a visual of what project you're doing, then that's when you're ready to start advertising it and getting investors to buy into your project. I ain't already got one investor, you know, I already got one. So, you know, it's just a matter of putting all your ducks in a row and talking to people that have already been in the game. You know, I got that brother out in Cabarete that's doing 38 luxury condos that, you know, has given me his insight. If y'all haven't seen the video, you got to check it out. He has provided a lot of informative information for those of you guys who are looking to invest in multi-family units. Then I got a sister that I got to have her back on the channel because some of y'all have requested to have her on. She's almost finished with phase 1. Going into phase 2, she's got some beachfront property out in Wandolio in Santo Domingo. So when you're looking to do these kind of things, these are the kind of people you want to talk to. People that's already doing it, you know, so that they can help you. And, you know, the good thing about it is they've been through the process, so they can tell you, you know, in what direction that you need to go in, you know. So it's always good to get that information from people that's already doing it. Elon Musk is investing in DR. Oh God, not Elon Musk. Y'all talking about Elon Musk now? Let me see. Where you got Elon Musk is investing in DR, but that's okay. When blacks do it, a bro will try to kill the dream. Oh man, I ain't got no comment on that one. It's true to what you're saying, bro. It's true to what you're saying, but you know, we always gonna have some dream killers out there. But you know what you want, and you know what you gotta do, and should nobody let anybody take them, you know, take away their dream and what they trying to do, man. If I listen to what other people told me I should do and how I should do it, I wouldn't be where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta do what's best for you. And the hell what people are telling you. Because it's always the ones that's telling you what to do, but ain't doing it themselves. And that's just the facts, you know? I will take my chances. I have a better chance. At least it's not cold if I have to sleep on the streets. And that's true. Like the weather too. Like I want to be somewhere where it's nice all year round, you know? I got 7 herniated discs from a car accident. You know, the winters in New York are brutal, and in Chicago too. Like I need to be somewhere, and as I'm getting older, I'm starting to feel the effects of, you know, the herniated disc in my back. There's times where I'm stiff, inflammation and shit, you know. So I'm like, nah, I gotta get out of here, you know. For me anyway. Freddie back, not being negative, being real. Locals will hold resentment against gringos, and y'all will become a plate of food. DR will become a rich person playground like the Virgin Islands and Turks. That's why you capitalize on your investments now to avoid any of that happening to you. Because I think a lot of us, if we knew what we knew now, you know, we would have capitalized wherever city we are from, because it's a worldwide, you know, gentrification has not just happened in Brooklyn, it's happening all over the United States, you know? And I don't think a lot of us would have thought that it would have gotten to this point. You know what I'm saying? So you see the opportunity in Dominican Republic, capitalize on the opportunity to avoid, you know, the inflation and all of that going on that's about to come. Real question, Freddie Mac. The North Coast is an undeveloped gem, so Susua and Puerto Plata is expensive, but try past Cabarete all the way towards Nagua. It's wide open and more beautiful. that POP area anyway. Freddie Mac, good luck with the window bars. Freddie Mac, Freddie Mac, you funny. Laugh out loud. Freddie Mac, just don't like the DRIC. Nobody said anything. Just don't knock the United States. I'm not knocking the United States. This is where I'm from. I mean, I love my country. It's just unfortunate that my country is not what it once was. And that's just the reality, you know? If I'm lying, tell me. What's in an upcoming town near Puerto Plata? Magulian, yo, you still live? Yeah. Oh, shit. I didn't realize it was almost... All right, so I got 3, 6... Okay. Yeah, I'm still live. What's an upcoming town near Puerto Plata? Well, you have a few. You've got Embert. You've got Maymon, which is up and coming. That's going towards Santiago. And then past Cabareta, I think it's Sabaneta. Sabaneta is up and coming too. That's still in Puerto Plata. And if you want to move further out, you've got Luperon, which is kind of far out. I love Luperon, don't get me wrong, but it's going to take time to develop that. You know what I mean? But it will be one of the next up and coming cities for sure. You've got Playa Ensenada, not Playa Ensenada. You've got Fricolandia out there. And it's nice. You got a lot of nice villas out there too. So I would say those cities. Straight Python at Freddie Mac, the DR will not, due to the language. Laugh out loud. Everywhere English is prevalent is where that play is pushed. Magulian, you learning that restaurant up. They ain't making no money on you. You tearing that restaurant up. They ain't making. Listen, I paid about almost $50, so I'm getting my money's worth. And look, I got my next bag. I'm a seafood connoisseur. Let me see. Freddie Mac, put the like, the USD runs the world. Put it like this, the USD runs the world. For now, the US dollar has went down in Dominican Republic. I don't know if y'all know that. When I went in April, I got there, April 1st? The US dollar was 61 pesos to one US dollar. That shit dropped to 58. It went from 61 to 58 pesos. And y'all probably say, no, it's not a big difference. Yeah, it's a big difference when you exchanging thousands of dollars at a time. Yeah, it is a difference. Jay, did you see the $1 billion that A-Rod, the baseball player, invested in the North Coast? See, there's so many heavy hitters investing in the North Coast, and this is why it's important. No, I didn't see that. Elaborate on that, Africa. What did he invest on the North Coast? Let me know. They can't get what we don't have. Once the Haitians leave, the cost of everything will go up. Haitians help build the country up. Yeah, that's true. That's true, and that is a major concern, I think, for a lot of us, because they dominate, the construction industry. So, who's gonna build our homes? But you still have a lot of Haitians that are legal, But it's gonna be a shortage of workers for sure. So I agree with you on that. There's a lot of things I agree with you on, Freddie Mac, and there's a lot of things that I don't. And that's one thing about me. We can agree to disagree all day. I value everybody's opinion, whether or not I agree. Python, Freddie Mac, who gonna do the work forever? Dominicans will do the work at a much higher cost. It's true. And that was one of the reasons why the Haitians came in, is because a lot of these construction companies didn't want to pay for insurance, and health benefits to the Dominicans, and they saw that the Haitians would come in and take, lesser pay without them having to pay, for health care coverage and all, and et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah. Freddie Mac, they don't want the manual labor work. You must not really been there. Germans will do the work. Will work too. Jose, what's going on, bro? I've been to DR multiple times. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. We've all been to DR multiple times. You're not the only one, Freddie Mac. You're not the only one. Yeah, you have your opinion, but everybody's got an opinion too. And just because you have an opinion don't mean your opinion is right in everything that you say. I'm not proclaiming to be the mayor of Dominican Republic, and nor do I know everything, But I guess we just gonna have to wait and see, aren't we? A-Rod invested $1 billion in tourism project in Playa Grande that will allow the construction of 577 rooms, including villas and apartments. The only thing that I'm concerned about when it comes to investing and doing like these beachfront properties, I just feel like their plumbing and the plumbing systems is just not so great. I don't know if you guys have visited the lifestyle resort in Puerto Plata, but if you stayed there, y'all know what I'm talking about. That water is the most dirtiest water in Dominican Republic. I will say it. And when I stayed there, I couldn't understand why their water was so murky. And I honestly believe that, the raw sewage is being pumped out into the ocean. And you can smell the raw sewage on the lifestyle resort compound. You can smell it, So yeah, that's my concern when they're making these beachfront properties. Even in Mexico, you got a lot of hotels on the water, but you don't smell raw sewage. I think Dominican Republic needs to do better when it comes to that. And that's the DR's major problem. They take shortcuts on building up the infrastructure. And I'm going to give you an example. Y'all remember when that flood happened in Santo Domingo, where that wall on the highway collapsed and pretty much crushed people in their cars, and that's only because them doing taking the cheap way out to get the job done, and it cost people their lives. You know what I mean? That is the only thing that I don't like about Dominican Republic, and that's due to corruption. Let me see. Jose, the Dominicans will do the work because they'll have no choice. The ball always keeps rolling. Big facts, Jose. Big investments in Rio San Juan. Okay. You left me hanging on Camu. My bad, Magulian. What was your question about Camu? I've been up there. I was selling property up there a couple of years back. The Brugal family owns a lot of property up there. They actually have a country club in Camu, and back then prices were at $30 per square meter. When they had stopped selling land up there only because there was an issue with, I forgot what I forgot his name. I have his number, one of the Brugal family. I have his number, but when I reached out to him, he told me that they had stopped selling land because of the permit situation or whatever. But when I reached back out to him again, I asked him, were they still selling land? And he said, yeah, we're selling now, but those prices jumped from $30. We're talking about in a 2-year span, jumped from $30 to $120 per square meter. So I always say, it's always worth making an investment in DR because within no time, you'll capitalize on your investment for sure. Freddie Cook, what's your plans so we can follow you if it's a good idea? Oh, he's asking what K Cook is asking. What's your plans, Freddie? You got some followers, potential followers, bro. Dominicans will say they do the work and take money and die the Brooklyn bounce. Camu prices all jumped, especially after the development and prior Brigatin. And Jose knows for sure because he's got property in Camu, so he definitely knows. We both know. What's your opinion on Camu? I mean, y'all all know I like the Campo life. It's quiet, mountainous, nice views up there. I don't have any issues with Camu. I love it up there. I've been up there a number of times. I like it. I actually like it. And if I hadn't bought my land at the time, I probably would have bought some land up there myself. And it's not too far from Sosua. It's like, I look at it as like in the middle, Because once you pass like Camu and Montellano, that's going towards Santiago and going towards Santo Domingo. So I think it's a good location. I got in good. Yeah, you did, Jose. You definitely got in good. And you're gonna capitalize off your investment for sure. For sure. Anybody that bought land up in Camu before the price surged, you definitely did good for yourself. Once they are almost completely done with development, Cuba, Haiti, Suriname, Belize, and Guyana is next. Well, we'll see about that. I hope Haiti gets it together at some point because I do enjoy Haitian food. I do enjoy Haitian culture, compa, and all of that. I'm from a multicultural city, so I have Haitian friends as well. You know what I'm saying? So, once Haiti once they take back their country and work on getting their government together, I would love to visit for sure. Brugal family having trouble getting permits? Doubt it. No, Magulian. When I spoke to Ed, his name is Edward Brugal. They are right now. At the time, they had to stop selling because of a permit issue. This is what he told me himself. But now they're back up and running. I wouldn't be surprised if they done sold all that shit up there in that country club. I like to go back up there and see what it's looking like now because it's been like maybe 2 years since I've been up there. Africa, the Dominican Republic has recently announced the establishment of national agency responsible for overseeing and enforcing building code compliance. They started this agency after the club disaster. Yeah, they established it, but let's see how much they're going to enforce it. I would hope that they do all they can to enforce it, but I don't foresee it being enforced the way it should. That's just my opinion, I got in Camu when prices were low. Perfect location, 10 minutes to airport, 10 minutes to the city. City center, 45 minutes to Santiago. Yeah, it's a great location. Definitely a great location. I ain't got no qualms about Camu at all. Like I said, the views up there are amazing. Amazing views, for sure. Wow. This is my second bag, y'all. Let me show y'all what we got working here. I'm about to end this live because I need to enjoy this shit. Oh, man, look at that, look at that, look at that. But look, guys, I've been on here for more than I anticipated. I'm going to come back on later with Clint. We're going to chop it up at 8 o'clock. So be sure to tune in at 8 o'clock with Clint and I. We'll be going live All right, I'll probably do a countdown after I leave here, go home and get everything set up so that we can chop it up a little bit more. All right, let me just read some more of these comments before I close out. The plan is to invest yourself and county, invest yourself in your county, then outside your country. Okay. Yes, I agree. The enforcement might be an issue. El Coupe is the new Camo. It is, because they building up El Coupe like ain't no tomorrow. And we got 1,000 square meters up there, and that's where we're going to be starting our project. And Clint and I will be talking about that at 8 o'clock tonight, so y'all stay tuned for that. Question, if you don't tap into the city water in DR, do they dig septic tanks? Yes, they do. And it, you know, speaking of septic and city water, because when I started building my house, I wasn't connected to the city water. I had to have, you know, a truck deliver water into my septic tank. But now that has changed. My builder has actually connected me to the city water. So now I get free water. I don't got to pay for city water. So for those of you guys that are looking to build, make sure that the land that you're buying is accessible to city water. Because the last thing you want to do is have to continue to pay to fill up your cisterna, okay? And then also, I mean, who the hell wants a Tanaco hanging on top of their roof? It just looks tacky to me. And if you want an extra source if you want an extra water supply, then invest in getting a well done. That way you have a backup source if in case a drought happens. You know what I'm saying? You have a backup. So that would be my opinion in terms of, getting water on your land, on your property. Yes, that shit has to go somewhere. Yeah. I just don't like the Tanacos on the house. That's just my opinion. It looks tacky to me, But if you can do a well as a backup, spend the extra money, especially if it's your home, a place that you plan on dwelling in, all right? But, I appreciate the love and support, guys. It's a great convo. We are 113 minutes in. Be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be back at 8 o'clock. I'm going live, so y'all stay tuned for more. Peace and love, guys, always. I'll talk to y'all soon.